It's important to understand in looking at this claim, we're not claiming solids or the drain, we're still just claiming the filter. And then here we sort of get into the sort of body of the claim after comprising, and we have the filter comprising, and I use just my preferred language, is neither better or worse than anything you guys selected. But I have a flange portion, and then I get into basically describing the structure of the flange portion. So this flange portion is configured to what everything after, and configured to just essentially means it has a structure capable of being placed on the surface surrounding the drain. So again, we're not positively claiming the drain itself or the surface surrounding the drain. It's just giving the structure of our filter some further context. And here I have a raised portion that protrudes upwardly from the flange portion. So again, all of that here is actual structure of the device, so I'll go ahead and highlight it, right? And then for the last part, I have here, which is essentially what I believe the novel feature of the claim is, which is that this raised portion has apertures, right? And when thinking about drafting it, I'm even though the disclosure I provided you with, you'll see that it has these mesh shaped openings in both what I'm calling the flange portion and also what I'm calling the raised portion. But from an attorney perspective and thinking about it critically, I'm also thinking, do I necessarily need the apertures in the flange portion for this to be an operative device? Would this device still operate if I had a solid flange portion and I only had apertures in the raised portion? So these are the things that I'm thinking as an attorney to get my inventor or my client the most maximum protection possible. Now, while I think the device will operate better if it has apertures throughout the entire filter, based on its structure, I think as long as you provide apertures to the raised portion, then it will function to filter. It won't filter as good, but it still will filter. Whereas vice versa, if you have a solid raised portion with no apertures and you put the apertures in the flange portion, it probably won't work at all, right? Because you will have the solid portion essentially covering the drain. So in understanding that, I sort of drafted my last novel aspect of the filter more broadly by saying that at least the raised portion has a plurality of apertures. So by drafting the claim that way, the claim is drafted in a way that does not necessarily require that the flange portion also has apertures. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the things that an inventor won't know, and they won't know to guide you in that particular direction, because in most instances, they're looking at their precise invention. Unless they're extremely sophisticated, which some are. You come across a lot of very sophisticated inventors, and they're able to understand the nuances of that. A lot of inventors are basically relying on you. So they'll come to you with a particular invention and they'll say, hey, this is my invention, please protect it. But you, being the practitioner, you have to understand the nuances of protecting it. So you have to understand what is or appreciate what is actually required for them to have an operative device, and what may be more limiting and may be best to include in a defeated claim.